Unfortunately, since then, the tape has been worn out to the point where no clear image can be made out anymore. My original theory regarding early reel was that it was not meant as a pitch, but was a test episode written, and of course directed, by David Mitton to see how much action and violence would work in a Thomas episode. Note that the show's 5th season contained more violence and crashes. It was the first to consist entirely of newly written material, not written by the Autry family, who had written the Railway series books. I assume that the incredibly violent scenes, not suitable for a children's cartoon, were likely added simply because the video would never go public, so they didn't have to worry about things being too violent or scary. It may be worth noting that earlier in 1981, a train in Argentina traveling to Buenos Aires crashed into a pair of derailed trucks at Branson Partido. This could be a coincidence, but it could also be a way of continuing the Autry's tradition of basing the accidents in the series off of real-life events. Prior to the tape wearing out, I contacted Britt Albrocht, David Mitton having passed away several years back. She was curious as to how I'd gotten hold of the DVD, as it had been missing for about 30 years. She confirmed to me that David Mitton did not have any input in the film, but was written by a caretaker at Clearwater whose name had escaped her, but she believed that his surname was Richmond. This employee had had a crush for David Mitton ever since they were teens, but the reason behind this has not been confirmed. Some believe that during education he felt that Mitton was finding ways to make him fail all his courses, depriving him of a future. It's not known how this may have been done, though Mitton was a distant relative of the head of one of the exam boards at the time. Richmond was certain that Mitton had a hand in making him fail and swore revenge on him. Britt believed that Richmond created this short film with the intent of passing it off as Mitton's work in an attempt to get Mitton sacked as a means of revenge. I told her that I had received the film in a shop lot of old, rare Thomas VHS tapes, some of which were dated prior to the show's launch in 1984. It turned out that the EP seller was called Richard Almond. Britt was uncertain whether this was this Richmond fellow, but told me to contact her if I found any more news. I watched the film one last time for clues. I was actually surprised to see that there were some secrets I had not seen before. At the big station, there were advertising posters for Richmond cigarettes. I was unsure whether or not this was a coincidence, but decided I'd contact Britt Albrocht once I watched the whole video again. I got to the scene where Thomas couples up to the trucks. On closer inspection, I could make out markings on the truck closest to Thomas. It was text that read LDM 160508. I wondered what this meant, so I did some searching, only to realize that David Mitton passed away on the 16th May 2008. I wondered what the LDM would have stood for, before I realized that the DM would be David Mitton, and due to the date of his death written on the truck, the L would have probably stood for lake. The following truck had an even more interesting message on it. 100794 was the number written on it, which happens to be my birth date. Another number combination was written on the same truck, MOB 23-3. I was initially puzzled before realizing that Book 23, Story 3 of the Railway series is called Escape. The climatic crash near the end of the film was likely to be where more secrets lied. I paused the tape and advanced frame by frame. For a split second I saw a frame with a black background and nothing but a date in a plain, sans serif font. It said 4.1.2033. Several seconds in the film later was another freeze frame, saying, "Doom is inevitable." I couldn't find anything more, but was interested with what I had. I tried to contact Britt Albrocht only to find that she'd stopped using her old email and had begun using a new one, which I was unable to find, and no one else I asked knew what it was, either. My theory is that some of the film is by Mitton. I believe that the original synopsis would have been as follows. Thomas backs down on a goods train. He takes the train down the line before realizing that he's been switched to the wrong track. He then crashes but survives in one piece. Percy then arrives with a breakdown train to lift him back onto the rails. The Richmond fellow probably added in bits afterwards, such as the writing of the truck, which I imagine was a reshot scene, because convincing enough effects were easy to come by in the early 80s. The screams of Thomas through a the destroyed Thomas, as well as everything that played after the copyright notice for obvious reasons. The thing that perplexes me is the phrase, "there's nothing quite like it." The original motto of the NWR in the RS books is in Latin, "Nulla quam simile." Is it possible that "there's nothing quite like it" was a proposed slogan or catchphrase for the TV series? Sounds better than confusion and delay, at any rate. The way scrap engines are used in this film is interesting to me. Many times in the series we see the engines going through scrap yards, even encountering scrapped locos looking just like themselves, but the characters look as cheery as ever. I don't particularly believe that what was said in the tape is going to happen, but hey, if I die on the January 4th, 2033, then I'll take back what I said.